The boutique pulsed with quiet elegance, mahogany panels, soft gold lights, and the hush of a space that expected wealth to walk, not stomp, through its doors. When the chime rang, Lena didn't look up right away. But when she did, she saw the boots first, dusty, worn, unbothered. The man was dressed plainly. Faded jeans, a black tee, and a helmet still in hand. She blinked once, smiled with polite dismissal. "Can I help you?" Her voice was thin, formal. He nodded slightly. "Just browsing." He moved slowly, eyes lingering not on price tags but on mechanisms, as though reading a language. Lena watched, smirking. But then he paused at a showcase. "That rotor, is it hand-done or laser-etched?" The question caught in the air like static. She hesitated. "Laser." He nodded once, almost wistfully. "Shame. Hand engraving had more soul." Her expression shifted. Not anger, just a small, involuntary flinch. Something had cracked. Lena didn't realize it, but her silence had already spoken too much. As the man's fingers traced the edge of the watch case, her mind scrambled for footing. She had seen his type before, or so she believed. And every time, she followed the same script. Assume little, offer less. The boutique didn't teach her that. It didn't need to. The culture was sewn into the walls, like the gold-threaded trim on their display cloths. Mia mirrored her well. Same look, same dismissive grin when a black couple once wandered in asking about engagement watches. "Just browsing," they'd said. Mia had whispered after they left. "Window shoppers." And Lena had laughed. That same year, a girl in a hijab, no older than 12, touched the glass with wonder. "Please don't leave fingerprints," Lena had snapped. She never looked back to see the girl's face fall. The store didn't punish her for it. In fact, her numbers were strong. She made sales. She knew how to spot the real buyers. At least that's what the manager told her. "We can't please everyone," he'd said once when a formal complaint was filed. Mia nodded along, always nearby, always complicit. She never said the cruel things herself. She just didn't stop them. And now here she stood, watching a man she had dismissed handle a luxury timepiece with more reverence than most collectors. Her armor, status, speech, silence began to bend. She tried to steady the balance. "What's your budget?" she asked, this time louder. It wasn't a question. It was a challenge. A wall. He looked at her and smiled, gentle, unshaken. "I'm not worried about that part." It landed. Not loudly. Quietly. That kind of quiet that unnerves people because it leaves no argument to stand on. Then the door opened again. A man in a sharp navy suit stepped in with the posture of someone who never heard no. Lena lit up, voice changing instantly. "Good afternoon, Mr. Harrington," she beamed, her words sticky with flattery. She drifted away from Keanu mid-conversation, crossing the floor like the air itself had changed. All performance. All perfect. Keanu stayed still. He didn't leave. Didn't clear his throat or chase her attention. He simply watched. Not like a wounded man, but like someone who had seen this before and would see it again. And in that stillness, the boutique began to feel different. He wasn't on trial anymore. They were. Lena returned to the counter, just as Keanu gestured softly toward the limited edition piece he'd admired earlier. "I'd like to see that one again," he said, voice calm as ever. She hesitated, eyes drifting once more to his boots, worn and dusty. Something about his stillness made her uneasy. She tried to push the feeling away with a smirk. "That one," she said, laughing under her breath. "It costs more than your old motorcycle." Keanu didn't flinch. "You may be right," he said gently. "Or maybe not." He picked up the watch with careful hands, cradling it like something sacred. Beautiful machines deserve to be treated with respect, don't you think? The words landed heavy. Not just on Lena. Even Mia shifted in her seat. Lena's poise cracked. She didn't know whether it was his tone, his confidence, or the way he never once raised his voice. She found herself listening, not to argue, but to understand. Keanu looked down at the watch again, then spoke softly. "It's for a boy I met. Young. Sick. All he wanted was to visit the set. We had lunch in my trailer. He didn't want pictures. Just to talk. About stories. Heroes. Time. Keanu paused, gaze distant. He asked if I ever got scared of time running out. Said he wanted a real watch one day. Something that told a story. Lena swallowed. He didn't look at her when he said it. He didn't need to. Everyone nearby had gone still. Customers, Mia. Even the espresso machine in the corner seemed to hold its breath. He didn't get that chance. Keanu said quietly. So I'm buying it for him anyway. A note. A gift. Because time still matters, even when someone's gone. He set the watch down, like it weighed more than it did. But maybe this isn't the right place to buy it. And then the door opened. A voice rang out, casual, confident. There you are. Still on for tonight, Keanu. The man wore a suit, sharp as the light off the displays. A hush fell across the boutique. Lena blinked. Mr. Harrington turned. Customers stared. The man crossed the room and embraced Keanu warmly. Didn't know you were in town. Still riding that Triumph? Keanu nodded, smiling softly. And with that, the illusion broke. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was full of realizations, shame, and something else. Reverence. Then Keanu turned, gaze steady. I came looking for a gift, he said. Instead, I found a mirror. By morning, the video was everywhere. A shaky phone recording, captured by a quiet onlooker, had caught it all. Lena's smirk, Keanu's poise, the subtle shift in power. The clip traveled fast, wrapped in headlines like, he was judged for his boots. Then he spoke, and Keanu teaches a boutique the price of grace. Comment sections exploded. The world had watched judgment unfold, and dignity answer without raising its voice. Lena sat in the back office, phone buzzing relentlessly. She didn't check it anymore. The notifications blurred together. Texts from old friends, some sympathetic, most not. A few brands she'd once bragged about tagging now quietly unfollowed her. Memes circulated with her frozen face mid-smirk. Screenshots. Quotes. She scrolled until she couldn't feel her hands. By noon, Vivian Clark arrived. Polished, precise. No warm greetings. Just staff lounge. Now, everyone filed in. The air was brittle. Vivian spoke with the precision of someone used to consequences. This wasn't just a PR issue, she began. It was a failure of character, of empathy. Her heels clicked once against the floor. You didn't fail because you didn't recognize Keanu Reeves. You failed because you decided he wasn't worth knowing. Lena looked down. No excuses came. You're not being fired, Vivian said, but you're being held accountable. A formal letter. Suspension. Retraining. The corporate version of mercy, laced with weight. That night, after the boutique had closed and the streets outside softened into quiet, a small box arrived. No return address. Inside, a card with elegant handwriting. Everyone has a moment where they choose who they'll be from now on. Start again. Below it, a coffee shop gift card. And a yellow post-it. 2 handwritten words. Start again. Lena stared at it for a long time. Then she cried. Not from shame. Not anymore. But from the fragile weight of possibility. The realization that redemption doesn't come wrapped in forgiveness, but in choice. Keanu's voice echoed in her mind. Not dramatic, just true. It's not about being recognized. It's about how you treat people when you think they're nobody. The boutique changed after that. People still came in, but the atmosphere had shifted. The staff spoke softer. Eye contact lingered longer. Strangers were no longer scanned, but seen. One afternoon, a child walked in, fingers curled around his dad's. The staff greeted him, gently, not out of protocol, but presence. From the back, Lena watched. She stood straighter, then stepped forward, not to sell, but to serve. And this time, she meant it.